All right, welcome to lesson 24. This is kind of an interesting lesson because it deals with the metric system, another system of dealing with units, but it's a system that we don't use in the United States. It's used most places around the world, but not in the US, so it might be kind of unfamiliar, so I need you to pay close attention. I've made a little number line that will be very helpful, and I'd like you to copy this in an important place so that you can use this in the future. In the metric system, they measure length using the meter. The meter is about the length of your arms if you stretch them out, and they also measure weight in grams. So those probably sound unfamiliar to you because we don't really use those terms very often. Now they also use these terms like kilo or hecto, and you can be copying this down, deca. So they might have the kilogram or the hectogram, decagram, kilometer or kilometer, hectometer, decameter. You might have heard some of those before. And they also have the decimeter, centimeter, and millimeter. You've probably heard millimeter before. So what do these words mean? Well, kilo means 1,000. So if someone says they are 2 kilometers tall, that means they are 2,000 meters tall. They're probably lying. If someone ran 500 hectometers, that means they ran 500 meters. Deca means 10. So these are all pretty big numbers, going up kind of like the tens place, hundreds place, and thousands place. Now to our right, we have kind of the opposite. Begins to get smaller, like the tenths place, the hundredths place, and the thousandths place. And that kind of makes sense. A millimeter, if you've ever heard of that, is very, very small. It's 1,000th of a meter. So go ahead and make sure you have this copy down somewhere. If you don't, pause the video and make sure you do that, because I'm going to show you something that's very cool about the metric system and makes me kind of wonder if one day the US is going to convert to the metric system because this is so cool. Alright, let me go ahead and show you. Let's say that we want to convert 528 centimeters, I'm just going to write cm for centimeters, to meters. So we want this to just be written as meters, with meters as our unit, not centimeters. So we just learned about how to do this in our last lesson. What we need is a unit multiplier, and we would multiply things, cross out things, reduce fractions, and we would end up with a new number represented in meters. However, the metric system makes this very easy for us. Let me go ahead and go up to this number line. We start off with centimeters, right? So I'm going to make a big dot right here. And we want to convert to meters, just here in the middle. Notice that to get from centimeters to meters, there are 2 spaces to the left. 1, 2. It turns out that's exactly what we would do to our number here. We would go from 528 centimeters, with the decimal point being right here, and we would jump 1, 2 spaces, and 528 centimeters equals 5.28 meters. That's all you need to do. So if you had 528 centimeters, it sounds like a lot, but if you actually converted that to meters, it's only 5.28 meters. So like 5 hands or 5 spans of your arm. So not very much actually. Let's go ahead and give another example because I feel like this could be a little confusing. Let's convert 350 decimeters, which I guess you can simplify as just dm, but I'll write out decimeters, to meters. So where are we now? Decimeters. Oh, we're right here. Put a little star here. and we want to convert to meters. Well, notice that's one little hop to the left. So that's exactly what we would do here. Make one little hop to the left. 350 decimeters is the same thing as 35 meters. Does that make sense? Yes, that does, because a decimeter is a tenth of a meter. So if we had 350 decimeters, that sounds big, but because each of those are only a tenth of a meter, that actually is only 35 meters. Let's go ahead and start with one of these numbers over here. Let's convert, let's say 3,519 kilometers to, well, let's be really crazy. Let's convert it to centimeters. This is kind of a hard one. So we have a pretty far distance, 3,519 kilometers. A kilometer is smaller than a mile, but you can kind of think of it as a mile. So really, really far, into tiny little centimeters, which is about this long, or about as wide as your finger. So that's going to be a really big number. Let's go ahead and figure out what our new number would be. So we're here at kilometers. I'll make a big dot. And we want to go all the way to centimeters over here. So that means we need to move our decimal place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little hops to the right. Let's go ahead and do that. And I think I need some extra zeros. So let me add some zeros here. Our decimal is currently here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what is that new number? I'll add in some commas so that we can read it. We have 351,900,000. Don't forget your unit. Not kilometers anymore, but centimeters. So see how easy it is to go from one type of unit to another when you're using the metric system? You don't really have to bother with fractions and those unit multipliers. You just move the decimal point. So that's why I kind of wonder if the US is going to eventually convert to the metric system, because one, almost everyone else in the world uses it, so that's why we have to learn it too. And secondly, it's so easy to go from one type of unit to another. So you can let me know what you think. But that's how you convert it. And I'm kind of glad we learned the harder way first with the US system before we learned the metric system, because this one is so much easier. Alright, let me know if you have any questions, and do not forget to copy this down into your notebook or someplace where you will not lose it, because it will help you. Eventually you can probably just do all this in your head, but for now it would be very helpful. So don't pause the video or don't stop the video until you have that written down. Alright. Let me know if you have any questions.